congratulations, through to the semi-finals. The job's done. If we learned anything from last night, it's that even a 3-1 first leg lead doesn't really mean anything. But was this one a comfortable one, would you say, Jordan?
I think we'd want to do better overall, but at the same time I still felt as though we started the game really well. First half, could have scored 1 or 2 more goals. Yeah, it was pretty comfortable, but I think we'll be really disappointed in the goals that we've conceded. So still plenty of stuff that we can be better at. But overall, we knew it was going to be tough. 3-1, it's never over, as you've seen last night. So we wanted to give it everything. A lot of changes with fresh legs, and we'll go through the next round, which is the most important thing.
And did those changes make a difference today, Diogo, in terms of the side that was fielded today? You don't always play together. Did that make a difference in how you set out today?
Yeah, we try to do our best as always. I think we as a team, we played a very good first half. They scored the goal almost out of nothing. But we were at one point 3-1 up, 6-2 aggregate. I think maybe we relaxed when we shouldn't. But the most important is that we go through.
That is the most important thing. Got to ask you, Jordan, what happened with that armband past the parcel when you guys were being substituted?
Yeah, I didn't realise Millie was coming off, so I give it to him, and then he come off, so yeah, I give it away, I think, again. So yeah, that was it.
Look, both of you will have, I presume, will have watched Villarreal last night. They've disposed of Juve, they've disposed of Bayern. They're not a side to be taken lightly, are they?
No, definitely not. They've knocked out, like you said, I think Juventus, Bayern, 2 very good sides. So they're a very good team in their own right. That'll be a very difficult tie, both legs. So we need to be 100% ready, give it everything, and hopefully we can progress to the final.
Hopefully you can, and it's such a busy period, Diogo, as well. So many big, important matches. You had City in the league, you've come through that one. This one you're through to the semi-finals, and then of course you've got City at the weekend in the FA Cup. It's relentless, it doesn't end. What's the mentality like in the team in terms of the hunger and the desire to just keep going in every competition?
Yeah, the desire is there. Obviously we are still fighting for 3 competitions, so everybody is very excited. We are rotating the squad, so everyone feels involved, and now City on the weekend to go to fight for a place in the final.
Does it feel like almost a formality? Do you ever take it for granted that you guys are through to the semi-finals? Because from the outside, we see how well you play. We see the success that this club has had over the years. Is it still a pinch-me moment for you going through to the next round, or do you take it as it comes?
No, it's definitely not taken for granted. Definitely not in the dressing room. It's huge to get into a quarter-final of the Champions League. To get into the semi is massive. Yes, we've been in a few over the last few years, but that doesn't take away how special this competition is. And we want to do our very best in every single competition. And we take it game by game, we give absolutely everything. And so far it's worked. So we've got a lot of football over the next couple of months, and we want to give it a big push to try and compete in all competitions.
Well done today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if you could hear any noise behind them just then, it was those Benfica fans. They are still here in full song. As I speak now, they are cheering and they are chanting for their players, because the players have done well to get to this stage, haven't they? They've made it through to their 5th quarter-final. We know they've got history in this competition, but they've got a lot to be proud of tonight.
Yeah, they didn't expect to get through this tie. I think I spoke to a couple of Benfica fans before the game, and they were happy to be here. They were going to enjoy the occasion, and their team's given a good account of themselves. They scored 3 goals at Anfield. They can be very proud, and that's why they're enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, it's a huge success from this year. When you go through what's happened this year, where they are in the Portuguese league, they're behind Porto, way behind Porto, 16 points, and Liverpool spanked Porto. Manchester City battered Sporting Lisbon, who was second. So they have come as far as they should have got. The fact that they beat Juventus was their moment. Was their moment to go there beat Ajax, to go there and get the result. That was their moment. To play Liverpool, who are alongside Manchester City, the favourites, it was always going to be a step too far for them. And they've done exceptionally well. And the fact that they got goals and a result of sorts tonight, I thought they can go back really happy and press on with the derby match that they've got coming at the weekend.
So they can be happy as they head back to Benfica, and Liverpool can be happy because they are through to the semi-final. Let's look at how the goals unfolded. Kanate was the one to get on the score sheet first in a very similar goal to that of the first leg.
It was. I like the way he got a lot of power on this, despite him coming down. He didn't meet it on the rise, and a lot of the time you jump early, you're going to head it as you're coming down, but it's very hard for anybody else to jump above you can almost get your arms up and nobody can, so you can jump early, and that's exactly what he did. It was similar to the first goal that he scored out in Portugal, but different in that he was falling as he headed it. Difficult skill. He mastered it really well.
2 goals for him, both against Benfica in the Champions League. He seems to like this team.
Yeah. Listen, I think he played well over the course of 2 legs. The header in the first leg was slightly easier than that, but he got above Otamendi, and as Mo said there, once he got up early, it was no chance for Otamendi or Vertonghen.
So whilst he put them ahead, we saw the Ramos reply, didn't we? Yeah,
and they were slightly fortunate, and there was a number of occasions where a lot of goals were on the periphery, weren't they? But as Michael said at half-time, Naby Keita goes wandering into areas where he shouldn't, get a bit of fortune in off the toe of Milner. But once it falls to Ramos, he absolutely smashes it in, doesn't he? Almost gives Alisson the eyes and whips across the ball. It was a lovely finish. And he was onside. He was, as you can see there, clearly onside. Got them back in the game for a short amount of time. But normal service was resumed in the second half, wasn't it? Yeah. Liverpool never looked at it under any problem. 7 changes, 5 substitutes came on. Entertaining day.
And in our pre-show we spoke about Bobby Firmino and the fact that he's not a nailed-on starter anymore, is he, for this Liverpool side? But when he is called upon, he always seems to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, he's top class, isn't he? I don't think that Jurgen Klopp expected the 2 players that he brought in to hit the ground running like they have in Jota and Diaz. They've just been unbelievable. And I think what we've got is 3 players in Firmino, Salah and Mane that are all sort of a similar age, 29, 30. And I think he possibly saw these 3 being the main men for another year or 2. But the way that the 2 other players that I mentioned have come into the team has almost meant that he's not going to be playing as much. But he's still a valuable member of the squad. And of course, when you bring him in like today, he goes and bags a brace.
He's a Jurgen Klopp player. I don't think anyone's played any more games than Firmino under Klopp. I mean, he obviously loves him, and he's definitely got a part to play in this. But like you say, I think with the way Jota's come in and the way Diaz has come in, it has made him potentially be a non-starter. But he did very well tonight, and he got his 2 goals. Took that one very well, actually. It was a difficult one. That it looks like a tackling, but he controlled it really well and controlled this one beautifully. It was a great finish.
Yeah. None of those 2 goals. He made both of those goals look easier than they were. I mean, yes, you expect him to score, but catches it perfectly.
Great finish.
I mean, I'm always one to look at the positives, always one to look at the attacking, but I don't know what their defence were doing. I mean, set plays has killed them.
His first goal was a catalogue of errors by Benfica, wasn't it? You know, we focus on the positives, and that was the same. Martin Keown said it in commentary. What defending? He just runs past 3 and volleys it into the net. But, you know, fair play to him. He's there at the right time to get his goals.
And at that stage now, they're 3-1 up on the night. And Diogo Jota just said it in his interview, didn't he? I think we relaxed a little bit after that. And they did, because then they went on to concede a couple of goals.
Yeah, cruising, and it's one of those. You can relax, you can sort of think, right, who else is going to score? You know, can we make it 7, 8, 9 on aggregate? And they fell asleep a little bit. And Benfica punished them in a similar way for both the goals, as we see again. That high line, again, just onside. Deep runners cause Liverpool problems. And both the goals, their second and third goals were both avoidable.
Yeah, this is disappointing. You see João Mario there, a midfielder, just pointing. And there was loads of time for him to do that. Nobody picked him up, and it was a simple ball over the top. This shouldn't happen, really, and it wouldn't happen. If Van Dijk was in the team, and if they played together more, this wouldn't happen, these type of goals. These are really poor goals to concede, but thankfully it doesn't matter. It didn't matter at all tonight.
It wasn't even a great run. He jogged right alongside him and then stood there for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then decided to go again. It was right in front of you. It's something that I think Jurgen Klopp will be slightly concerned about, but you would like to think when the concentration is sharpened in the big games, then you wouldn't be so lax.
And actually, you make the point, Macca, that VVD obviously wasn't in the side, and it's the first time that back 4 has played together. So is it for them to sort of make those errors?
I think normal because of that situation, and normal because of the situation of the game, because they were 3-1 up and way ahead on aggregate. You see, Joe Gomez was was too deep for the first goal when Juramchik got through, and you know, I think it was Canate for the second one with the ball over the top. There's no pressure on the ball. I just think it was all too easy. And I always felt that Liverpool could always go down the other end in case it got a bit nervy and score. And I think the players probably felt that. It was like that in the first leg. So to come here at home, you know, it was just a question of getting through, managing the game today.
And also, Liverpool, we've spoken about it many times, they play with that high line, don't they? Which means they are prone to conceding goals.
They are, yeah. I mean, we've got a couple of examples. As we said, the 2 goals really here, if we just play it on 50%. What I wanted to just drag back and just show you, because he did this twice. It's the second time that this man
goes wandering.
Yeah, he goes wandering. He doesn't need to move here. He's protecting areas, and he just almost vacates the hole, and all of a sudden then you've got 2 players in this box that really is his area. You can't vacate that. And all of a sudden, they get turned, and then they're in trouble. They're running back to their own goal, and it's 3-2. So I think Keita was at fault for the first one, and then again for the second one, doing a similar thing. And again, the third is, a similar one in many ways. But I think Liverpool, the success that they have is when they're in that type of shape, and they've got, they can keep the team compact. They can win balls. They're all close to each other. But when there's no pressure on the ball, they have to. And this is the sort of area here. This is the area that we're looking at. I mean, even if you're keeping a high line, you still need to be on guard and still need to run back. Look, I mean, he just stands. He's not squeezing up for offside. He's not running back. He does nothing. And of course, it's a pathetic goal, really. Yeah. And I cannot for the life of me believe that would happen.
No.
If it was a close game, if everyone was at it.
But it's a theme, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it happened at City.
It happened at City.
It happened
That's
again
the problem.
today.
It's
happened too many
It's
times.
now becoming a theme, isn't it? I bet you the manager's going to be sick and tired of people asking that question about high lines.
But are
That's
you
the
though
problem.
worried though? Do Liverpool fans, aren't they a little bit worried now because you can't do that?
They offer so much going forward, don't they? And they do fancy themselves for 2v2, the 2 centre halves. They do trust them, but conceding goals like that, it doesn't matter how you play. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah. And we don't think it will happen on a regular basis when everybody's fitting well. And the circumstances dictate that you have to be really 100% focused. It wasn't tonight. And they could concede like that against Saturday against Man City because they know how to play against them. But I don't necessarily think it's a problem going forward. I certainly don't think it'll be a problem in the semi-finals of this competition. But it will be against the very, very best, and the very best at the moment are Manchester City.
Jurgen, first of all, congratulations through to the semi-finals. I've got to ask you about the performance because it looked very comfortable. You scored 3, so did they. They also had, I think it was 3 goals disallowed, maybe even 4. So it's a little bit of a strange one. How do you evaluate that performance?
First and foremost, on the day when we qualified for the semi-final to the Champions League and I'm not happy, please come here and knock me out, because that makes absolutely no sense, all these things. So we made 7 changes for good reasons. We played a really good first half. I liked a lot of things. Scored goals in the second, 3-1 up, you're right. And then, the situation was this last line never played together, and it's about details. It is about details. And then we were a little bit, and it's difficult for human beings to keep 100% concentrated. And your opponent, obviously, they celebrate now that the result, that they got a point here, and the performance maybe. But it's really difficult, and we had not the 1,000% right mindset in that moment. Then we lost balls. When we were open in the last line, it was like between protection, dropping, stepping up. Of course, it was then not exactly what we wanted to do, but it's absolutely not important, because if we would have played the best game of the season tonight, our entire time together, they wouldn't have made it more likely to get through to the final. Nothing. It's nothing to do with it. We played the game we played. We are through. That's all I wanted, and I'm really happy.
Good, and we hope you're happy. Now, another thing you would be happy with is that both 2 of your starters scored today. Konate again. It's like lightning strikes twice. And, of course, Bobby as well. When you are going into such a busy period, and we know that you've made your views very clear in terms of the relentless schedule, how important is it as a manager? How much faith does it give you to be able to rely on the players that don't get that run out every single week?
Absolutely, it was, and I was never a doubt about that. The one thing we knew it will be harsh was this last line never played together. So you had 3 centre halves, all good. You lose the voice in the last line with Virgil. You don't have him on the pitch, and these kind of things are normal. But the rest, rotation on other position was never a problem for us, and this is no problem. It was not the first game they played again. Did in most situations brilliant. But Benfica kept believing and kept going. That's all. And for us, it was important in that period that we really can make changes and still are still successful. So all fine.
I know it's not on your mind at all at the moment. It's still a couple of weeks away, but Villarreal.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah?
what?
Yeah, you're not thinking about them tomorrow, are you?
Yeah.
But of course, you faced them in 2016. These are two very different sides now. We've seen what they can do in the Champions League. What have you made of their journey, and how excited are you about this next phase of the competition, even though it's not in your future right at the moment? It's still a couple of weeks.
If I could do now and analyse about Villarreal, that would be really strange, because then what do I do over the week? We played City, we played today Benfica. So I obviously saw the results. I saw last night the game that was very impressive, I have to say. Really good defending. Last week I only picked up pieces, but who kicks out Juventus and kicks out Bayern deserves to be in the semi-finals, and that's Villarreal. So they are really good. They have an extremely experienced manager who is kind of the king of the cups. It's unbelievable what he's doing, Unai. And when we play them, we will be ready, but give me a little bit of time to prepare it properly.